While the Johnson home was a place of transcendent peace and revelation, it was also a place of some of the hardest moments of Joseph Smith's life. In the months before Section 76 of the Doctrine and Covenants was received, tensions were rising. People were concerned about the call to gather, the call to unite together, to collect your finances in one group. And finally, with Section 76, it seemed that the dam broke. These new revelations from Joseph Smith were difficult even for some members of the church who had grown up hearing new ideas. For example, Brigham Young recalled, "My traditions were such that when the vision came first to me, it was so directly contrary and opposed to my former education, I said, wait a little. I did not reject it, but I could not understand it." When W. Phelps published it in the Evening and Morning Star, he called it the greatest news that was ever published to man. News spread quickly about this revelation, and finally on March 25th, it boiled over. In the middle of a cold, dark March night, Joseph Smith was dragged from his bed. Sidney Rigdon, who was living in a small log cabin across the street, was also dragged from his bed in the middle of the night. As the mob gathered, they poured hot tar onto Joseph and Sidney, and then covered them with feathers. They were bruised, scratched, beaten, and dragged down the road. Very shortly, the mob dispersed, and Emma Smith and the Johnsons and other friends and family gathered them back into the home and spent the rest of the night scraping now cold, hardened tar from their bodies. The next morning, at a schoolhouse near this site, Joseph Smith preached a sermon about the principles of the gospel. Still recovering from his wounds, including a chipped tooth that caused him to speak with a slight whistle, Joseph preached the gospel. Included in the congregation were some of the people that had caused his injuries the night before. Joseph and Emma Smith had lost twins, newborn twins, just a few months before this event, and they were raising the twins of John and Julia Murdoch. Julia had died in childbirth, leaving behind these two small infants. And as the mob dragged Joseph from the house, the door was left open, and the little baby boy caught a cold and died a few days later from the effects of that night. The Smiths had now lost 3 children in the space of just a few short months.